Hello students, in continuation with the last lecture in which we discussed the 3-point lighting, let us see how to do a basic studio setup using 3ds Max. Now suppose we want to highlight a particular object and to put key light, backlight or rim light and the fill light for the same. For that, let us go to the front view first of all, and we will use this spline option or the line option, and let's create something like this. Okay, then go to modify and go to the vertex level. Select the vertex, and in edit poly itself there is an option of fillet. Then come to the line or object level, go on the top, and there is an option of rendering. Enable in viewport, enable in rendering. Make both options on, keep it on rectangle, and this is the length. You can increase the length. And the object will be like this. Then click on modifier list and apply edit poly modifier to convert this line into a 3D object. Even if it is looking like a 3D object, still the software will treat it as a line. So apply edit poly. Now this is a 3D object. Once we have done that, we can create any object. Say for example, let's take teapot. That's very easy to showcase the lights and materials using the other orthographic projections. Place it at a particular point, then go to lights. First of all, we will have target light in photometric. Let's go to the top view and put a light over here. Then again go to the top view, create a camera, a physical camera, target camera. First of all, we will take a target camera, click and drag for the camera. C for camera. Once you press C, you can see through the camera. Then you have these options: truck camera, orbit camera. Using the orbit camera, adjust your view, and this is the key light which we have adjusted. Now again go to top view, select the key light, press shift and move it, and that will create a duplicate of the same object. You can keep it on copy. So this is backlight or rim light. You can adjust the intensity later on. Now suppose this key light, if you want to turn it into a spotlight, go to modify and you have to make shadow on, select retrace shadow, and in light distribution you need to select spotlight. Even for the key light, you have to make shadow on and make sure you select retrace shadow. Now the remaining part is using the fill light, but before that let's go to rendering, render setup, and let's set the renderer to mental ray so that we also do have indirect lighting calculations. So set the renderer type to NVIDIA mental ray, where we get an option of global illumination. And if you are using IBL, then you can use this option of IBL. Right now we will be using illumination from indirect, global illumination and final gather. So these are the options we will be using. And in final gather, basically that is indirect light which is being reflected from surrounding objects. Now in reality, we have thousands and lakhs of reflections within fraction of second, but as computer is a machine, it has a processor which has its limitations. It calculates the reflections on certain points. Those are called as final gather points, not on all points. And in case if you increase the final gather point density, it will have indirect lighting calculation in more detail, but the rendering time will increase further. Now what about the missing points on which we have not calculated the final gather? For that, we can do the interpolation. That means mixing of the calculated data into the not calculated area. If you increase the final gather point density and interpolation, the result will be more smooth. You can increase the interpolation from 30 to even 300 as well. Then we have this trace depth. How many reflections it will calculate or go on calculating. Okay, so we have selected mental ray. Again go to rendering and environment, and this time select the exposure control as mental ray photographic exposure control. Once you have done that, go to the perspective, press M for material editor, select any material slot, select the object and assign that material, click on standard, and as we have selected mental ray, we will get an option of physical materials or Autodesk material library. So you can select physical material. In that again you can select a template. Let's select a template of say matte finish. Similarly select the background, select a slot, assign a material. Now first of all we will have a simple render, and then we will decide how to adjust the intensities of the lights. Mainly we have to adjust the intensity of key light first of all. Now as you can see, we cannot see anything over here, so we need to adjust the intensity. Before that there is one more thing. Go to rendering, environment. We have selected photographic exposure, but we need to select the preset. Select the preset as indoor nighttime, and then have one more sample render. And now you can see the image appears. The intensity is too much, especially for the backlight. So I'll click on cancel the render. Let's go to top view, select the backlight, go to modify, and under intensity go to lumen. If you need to reduce the intensity, you have to reduce the lumen and reduce it by a large amount, and have one more render. Now for the shadow region on the right side, we may have to put one fill light. That can be an omni light which will focus on the shadow areas or the darkest areas. So this is the backlight. You can see this is the key light in which we are looking at the object, and for this shadow we will be putting one more fill light. Press escape to cancel the render. Then go to top view, press shift and have a duplicate of the same backlight. Keep it on copy, and let's go to other view, move its position downwards and reduce its intensity furthermore. It's a very dim light, and have a render. We are not completely nullifying the shadow, we are just trying to reduce its influence. At the same time, we have also used mental ray indirect lighting calculations in final gather. So this is the result with 3 lights.